Decades of observing real-world patterns in metabolic health have taught experts an important truth. Long before any lab report reveals a problem, your body quietly shows visible signs of high insulin resistance, even when you feel normal. For years, the body compensates. Glucose tests look fine, daily life feels fine. But underneath the surface, insulin is running dangerously high. The very first place this hidden struggle reveals itself is your skin. One of the clearest signs is a condition called acanthosis nigricans, though most people have never heard the term. Yet almost everyone has seen it at some point: darkened, thick, velvety patches of skin that gather in folds where sweat, friction, and pressure are common. The back of the neck is the most recognizable place, but it often begins subtly in the knuckles, armpits, groin, or elbow creases. It can look like dirt or a shadow that never washes off, but it's really insulin shouting at your skin cells to grow thicker and faster. Because insulin is not just a hormone that manages sugar, it's also a growth hormone. Every skin cell listens to that signal, and in areas where skin rubs together, that signal gets amplified. As cells stack, thicken, and produce more pigment, the patches grow darker. A second visible sign comes from the same biological process: skin tags. They look like tiny mushrooms or little flaps of skin hanging from a narrow stalk, and they often appear in clusters in the exact same regions affected by acanthosis nigricans. Many people defend them as just friction, and while friction might trigger their appearance, it is not the root cause. High insulin is the engine forcing the skin to grow again and again. Friction is only the spark. The third sign appears not as discoloration or growth, but as puffiness, water retention, also known as edema. If you look down and your ankle bones are hidden by swelling, or your hands and face constantly look puffy, that's a red flag. Many people feel this swelling before it becomes visible. A simple test used in medical settings involves pressing a thumb firmly into the shin bone for 30 seconds. If a deep dent remains, it indicates pitting edema. When metabolic health improves, that dent fades faster. High insulin contributes to this swelling by forcing the kidneys to retain salt, which draws water into the bloodstream. At the same time, high insulin damages the protective inner lining of blood vessels, called the glycocalyx, making them leakier. As the slippery coating wears away, fluid escapes into surrounding tissues, pooling especially in the legs and feet. Medical Truth Zone always emphasizes that you must never ignore swelling around the lower extremities. It is often one of the earliest warning signs of metabolic overload. The fourth major sign is found in your body shape, specifically when fat accumulates disproportionately around the abdomen, creating the classic apple shape. For women, the hourglass outline fades into a rounder midsection, and for men, the waistline transforms into a heavy spare tire. The reason is simple: insulin encourages storage. When the fat under your skin becomes full, your body begins storing extra energy inside your abdominal cavity, packing fat between and around your organs. This visceral fat is not silent. It actively produces inflammatory chemicals that worsen insulin resistance, creating a vicious cycle. Scientists consider visceral fat the most dangerous type because it is metabolically aggressive and directly linked to heart disease, diabetes, fatty liver, and hormonal imbalance. Finally, the fifth sign appears in a place almost no one thinks to check: your toes. Completely hairless toes, meaning no hair at all, not even tiny light hairs, can signal that insulin resistance has already affected blood flow. The smallest blood vessels in the toes feed tiny hair follicles, and when insulin resistance stiffens and narrows arteries, circulation slows down. The toes are the farthest point from the heart, making them the first to show reduced blood supply. When these follicles don't receive oxygen and nutrients, they stop producing hair altogether. This does not apply to people who naturally grow very little hair, but rather to those who previously had toe hair that gradually disappeared. Taken together, these 5 signs, darkened skin folds, skin tags, persistent puffiness, apple-shaped fat storage, and hairless toes, tell a clear story. They are not superficial cosmetic issues. They are powerful metabolic warnings that insulin is chronically elevated and silently damaging your system. The body always speaks before the blood tests do. The good news is that insulin resistance is not a life sentence. These signs can improve dramatically when you start supporting your metabolic health. Lowering processed carbohydrates, reducing sugar, improving sleep, increasing movement, eating whole foods, managing stress, and allowing insulin levels to drop through better dietary patterns can unlock stored fat, reduce inflammation, and help restore the natural balance your body has been fighting to maintain. If you see yourself in any of these clues, consider it an invitation, not a diagnosis, because you have the power to reverse the trend. Your metabolism can heal from the inside out, and the earlier you take action, the faster the changes appear. For more guidance on how to unlock your fat-burning potential and fix insulin resistance naturally, continue watching the next video here on Medical Truth Zone, where we break down step by step what your body needs to finally reset and recover.